What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in this time. Everybody that's here, I greatly appreciate it. Anybody watching the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. So, got Lakers basketball back tomorrow. Wanted to do a little live stream just talking about, the second half of the season, kind of, having just a fun general conversation about the Lakers, trades, all the things, all the works. Look, this is the go time, right? This is the hey, it's time to gear up. It's time to lock in. It's time to kind of get our act together, right? This is where, as the Lakers, you start to put together, you and start pushing for your seeding and things along those lines, right? Like this Lakers team, this is the make or break, right? Lakers have a pretty tough schedule. It'd be a little hot and cold, but like for the most part, again, Lakers have to figure out how to start beating some good teams here. You had the Phoenix Suns lose to the San Antonio Spurs, which is really good. That definitely helps the Lakers and, kind of gives them a little bit of a cushion if you end up winning, because going in today, they were only a game and a half back. It'd be nice if the Clippers could beat the Nuggets, because then we'd only be like a game back of the Nuggets for the 3 seed. And, unfortunately, Houston ended up beating Charlotte. Would have been nice if Charlotte was able to get that done to, again, kind of give us some kind of leverage. But look, at the end of the day, it's up to us, right? It's up to the Lakers to do their job. It's up to the Lakers to show up, ball out, do what they're supposed to do, right? If the Lakers handle, and, you can't necessarily worry about everyone else, right? Obviously, you want to kind of keep an eye on where you are range-wise, but you also can't be, you need to handle the games in front of you. You need to beat the teams that are in front of you, right? You got the Clippers tomorrow. They're going to be on a back-to-back, right? Which is why I kind of want them to beat Denver, and then we beat them, and then that would kind of help us. Lakers are, right there in the mix to end up getting the 3 seed, but they're also right there in the mix to be a play-in team, right? It looks like the Warriors are probably going to lose to the Celtics. So, if that happens, again, I'm not worried about the Lakers falling into the 8th seed or anything like that, but you need to hold up your end of the deal. You need to do what you're supposed to do. You need to make sure that you're handling business. I don't care if the Lakers get the 2-3 seed, anything like that. I want a top 4 seed, right? Give me a top 4 seed, so that way we at least have home court in the first round. Give us a little bit of leverage, right? Going into that series, give us a little cushion, a little wiggle room, right? Look, I've said, and I still maintain, don't be shocked that the Lakers are actually pretty good come playoff time. All right. Don't be surprised in the slightest if we look up and the Lakers, it's like, where was this all season? Right? Because they are really good in a lot of areas come playoff time. But you also need to put yourself in a position to have success. Right? You need to put yourself in a position where you can end up winning some games. It's good that the Lakers have been a good road team this season, because probably going to play a lot of road games in the playoffs. But that's why I want to get kind of that home court to where it's like, okay, get at least the first round, right? Put yourself in position. And then from there, you kind of just, again, where the cards fall, they fall, right? At least get out of the first round. To me, again, Lakers, there's areas to improve, right? Like they need to, good thing is everyone's healthy. Right. For the first time, we're going to get to see what this team can actually do. The offense side, obviously, they're going to be leaning heavily on the offense side, but defensively, they've actually been pretty good, the last 15 games or so. And this time last year, remember, Lakers were the best defense in basketball with a worse defensive team. So there is, and I'm not saying the Lakers are going to be the best defense team in basketball, but again, can they at least maintain where they've been? Basically, the last 15 games or so, Lakers have ranked 14th in defense. If they can kind of stay in that 14 to 15 range, right? Lakers are looking to do what Denver did in 2023, which was 15th in defense during the regular season, dead last during the playoffs. They're the worst defensive team in the playoffs, but they were so good offensively and such a well-oiled machine offensively, no one could keep up. Closest anyone came was the Phoenix Suns, who it took Devin Booker having a literal historic, never been done before, has yet to happen after performance where he shot, I think it was like 75% or 70% from the floor. Like the guy couldn't miss, and they still were only able to get 2 games, right? They weren't able to really apply pressure to a Denver Nuggets team. So again, Lakers, there's no one that I look at and go like, Lakers have no shot of beating. Right? That doesn't mean that the Lakers are going to beat those teams, but there's no Kevin Durant on the Warriors where I think the Lakers are, you know, have no shot. Right? I do think the Lakers, again, they're really good in a lot of the areas that you need to be for the playoffs. They're, excellent. One of they're the best half court team. They're the best field goal percentage team. They are, really best clutch team. They're undefeated when leading through three quarters. The last time that happened was the 2020 Lakers. Right? Lakers are, again, you have Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. If those three can play to the level, good luck. Lakers would have the three best players on the court every night if those three guys can play the level. There's very few guys that are better than Luka, especially come playoffs. Right? You got to remember, Luka's second all time behind Michael Jordan as far as like playoff scoring and performance. So very few people, I mean, historically, only one person ever has been better than Luka, and that is Michael Jordan, right? There's nobody that's as good as LeBron James as a second option. And there's no one, at least the way Austin Reeves is playing this year, no one as good as a third option that, that the Lakers would end up facing, right? But again, that doesn't mean that the Lakers they're just going to walk to the finals or anything like that, right? Like there's a lot of factors that have to go into it. But again, it's not zero, right? It's not something I'd bet on. It's not something I'd count on. But it wouldn't surprise me if the Lakers get to the conference finals. Matchups are everything. You get the right matchups in the playoffs. We've seen that the last handful of years, how valuable, not even just for the Lakers, but teams, period. Matchups play a big role in team success and, going on the right playoff run, right? Again, if they get the right team and the right matchups, we're in good shape. But hopefully, again, now that the Lakers are fully healthy, they can start to kind of create that identity. That's the thing. You got to understand, we've never seen this Lakers team. We haven't. LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves only played 10 games together. Luka and R just got here. We've had injuries. Like, when was the last time we've had a clean injury report? Like, nobody's on the injury report, right? Like, this is huge, right? You got to keep in mind, for a team that has had their three best players injured almost all season, right? We're still right in the thick of being the 3 seed. Like, literally, we're a game and a half back of being the 3 seed, right? For as bad as this Lakers team is and all that stuff, again, we're right there. Right? And again, like, injuries happen. Lots of teams have dealt with injuries, but we've had literally our three best players miss multiple games. We had LeBron miss the first 14, then he comes back, but Luka's out, and then Luka comes back, but then Austin Reeves is out. Austin Reeves misses 27 games or whatever it was, right? Like, Austin Reeves only played 28 games. So, you start looking at this and it's like, Lakers are in really good shape, right? Obviously, they need to correct some stuff. They need to start to prove that they can beat some of the good teams, right? Right? We've had much more success recently. We've been much better recently on both sides of the basketball. Now we're fully healthy. Now we can hopefully start to build that chemistry. Because again, we haven't really gotten to see what Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves look like on the basketball court. It could be fantastic. It could also be terrible. It could also just be like, yeah, these three just don't fit. That's also a really big possibility. Or the Lakers got to, Reeves has got to continue to come off the bench because it isn't working him in the starting unit, right? Like, again, we don't know how this will go, but there's also a chance that this is really good. But even if it's really good, there's levels to that, right? There is, these guys are great. And then there's like, these guys are elite. And then there's like, hey, these guys are good enough to win us a championship. If these three guys played at this level, good luck beating the Lakers team. We have to see that. We haven't gotten a chance to see that yet. And so hopefully that ends up happening between now. Lakers have 28 games left, right? Lakers are predicted to go, they're projected to have 45 wins. So 12-16 is what the Lakers were projected to go this rest of the way. I think they'll get at least 50 wins, which means they'd have to go 17-11. I think 17-11. I mean, even just the Lakers' most recent pace, they've been 17-11. So I trust the Lakers to rattle off these wins, kind of really buckle down. Every year you hear LeBron, every one of these games is a playoff game. And, this is when teams are buckling down and fighting for playoff seeding and, kind of gearing up and trying to find and create their identity, trying to become the team that they're going to be between now and the playoffs and all that stuff. And, I trust that the Lakers will be able to figure out and navigate some of that stuff. Again, I don't care if we're the 3 seed. I just want a top 4 seed. I want us healthy more than anything. You got to remember, LeBron James hasn't been healthy. Well, this way, LeBron James hasn't been healthy in the last, 3, 4 playoffs. If he can be healthy come this playoffs, that's huge for this Lakers team. So again, Lakers are right in the thick of it. Hopefully we can kind of continue to push. I think we get at least 50 wins because my offseason prediction was 53. Lakers would have to go, 20-8? I don't think they do that, if I'm being honest. Even if they do kind of look great and figure some stuff out, I still don't think they'll go 20-8. Maybe. I mean, they were good enough earlier in the season, but realistically, I think they'll get 50 wins. I think they'll be in the mix for a top 4 seed. I'm not really worried about them being a play-in team, to be honest. Again, maybe they will. We'll see. Time will tell. But I think Lakers will be a playoff team. And then once you get in the playoffs, again, it's just you trust your stars to bring you home. You trust your stars to get the job done. But anyway, let's get into all the super chat questions, all the regular chat questions, all of that stuff. Real quick, hit that like button for me. Hit that subscribe button for me. Like I said, just wanted to do a quick little, little light live stream, just fun conversation as we get ready for tomorrow. I will do the post game stream tomorrow and everything like that, so we'll have that too. But let's dive into it. Austin, hey Tyler, who do you want to win MVP this year? I know you're a Laker fan, so it's probably Luka, but I wouldn't mind Wemby or Cade. So who do I want to win MVP? It would be, yes, Luka, right? Obviously, he's a Laker. I'd love to see him get it. And look, there's an argument for it, right? Like he's been good enough this year that he probably deserves it. I think it's probably going to be Cade, if I'm being honest. If Wemby and the Spurs can get the 1 seed, which they're right there, they're not that far behind. I think Wemby gets, and Thunder are dealing with a bunch of injuries to guys. So if Wemby can help lead the Spurs to the number 1 seed in the West, I think Wemby ends up getting the MVP. Otherwise, I think it'll probably be Cade. Just because, again, what Detroit's done this year, how good they've been this year, right? Like Cade being the best player on that team, leading that team. And usually they give it to the best player on the best team rather than like who's the best player, right? Like, I mean, again, you can argue, Luka hasn't been the best player this year, right? Like, but you also have several guys, which I think is ridiculous, that are just out. Like, I think certain accolade, like Jokic, again, is probably not going to get MVP when he probably deserves it because he's not, the injuries. It's just, I don't know. They need to figure that out. But who do I want? Wemby or Luka. Who do I think will get it? I think it'll be Cade, unless Wemby is able to lead them to the 1 seed. If he can get the Spurs to the 1 seed, I think you have to give it to him, right? Like again, you overtake OKC, who's been the best team. They've dominated OKC. They've beaten all the good teams. They look like the best team in basketball. So yeah. Who would you want to play in the first round if you had to pick for the playoffs? The Houston Rockets. Houston Rockets or the San Antonio Spurs. If I had to, ideal, would be the Houston Rockets, San Antonio Spurs. Just because, one, Houston, they're going to struggle. They already struggle mightily to score the basketball consistently. They're not a good half-court team. And in the playoffs, the game slows down, becomes more of a half-court game, all that. They don't really have a consistent go-to scorer outside of Kevin Durant. And it's already been shown that there is a blueprint to beating the Houston Rockets. And I think the Lakers can follow that blueprint to beating Houston, right? You limit their turnovers. You make sure you take care of the basketball. I just don't think Houston's going to be able to stop you offensively. And they're not good enough offensively, especially in a playoff setting. It's why they fizzled out last year. I mean, I said all the same stuff last year. They're worse this year in those areas. Because again, you got rid of multiple guys that could score the basketball and self-create and all that stuff for just one guy. And don't get me wrong, Kevin Durant's ridiculous, but again, he's still one guy. So those games are clutch. It's Kevin Durant versus LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. I'll take LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves. Şengün disappears at times. Like multiple guys on Houston disappear at times. The reason I like San Antonio is, and again, maybe San Antonio runs through us, but again, it's a young team in the playoffs that is really good as a regular season. Like we've seen this Spurs script before. Every year there's a team like this, right? It was Sacramento they lose in the first round. It was, Memphis, they lose to the Lakers in the first round. It was OKC a couple years ago, right? Who did they lose to? Was it the Warriors or somebody like that? Or maybe it was Denver. Last year you had Cleveland. Like every year you have a team that's like really good in the regular season because they're young, they're athletic, they're deep, they can just push the pace and they can get out and transition. But then you get into a playoff setting, a playoff environment, and it's almost a different sport, right? Game slows down. You don't get as many kind of breaks. San Antonio also doesn't shoot the three ball very well. So you can pack the paint and kind of try to, you're not going to stop Wemby, but try to contain him as much as possible. My ideal path would be that, like Houston, San Antonio, and then from there it's like, OKC or Denver, probably one of the teams that you'd end up playing. So that would be, in my opinion, ideal, right? Last year I said I wanted the Warriors. Everyone told me I was crazy. And I was like, I do not want to play Minnesota because I thought Minnesota was the worst matchup in the league for the Lakers. I said, I want to play Houston. I want to play the Warriors. I want to play anybody but Minnesota. Like I would have actually rather played Denver last year than played Minnesota. I just thought Minnesota was just the worst matchup for the Lakers because of their athleticism, their physicality, their size, their length, their interior size, right? Like obviously Jokic is a problem, but I think the Lakers would have been able to manage that a little bit. I look at this year and I feel the same way. Like I would be fine with Minnesota. I think Lakers would actually beat Minnesota this year. I think they're better equipped this year for Minnesota. I think Reeves would handle the ball pressure well this year against Minnesota than he did last year. But Houston and San Antonio, right? Like ideally I'd like to play San Antonio in the first round. Like I'd like to go San Antonio, then Houston. But you're probably playing Houston, then San Antonio. Just because, again, like my concern with playing San Antonio in the second round is they might, like, depending on how that first round goes, they might have the confidence and kind of have figured some stuff out, right? But the Spurs also are really bad in a lot of areas. You need to be good come playoff time. And they love to blow big leads. So even if the Lakers are down 20 against San Antonio, they're going to let you back in the game. I mean, it happened in the last San Antonio game. They're going to let you back in the game. And you can almost clock them in for giving up just a big third or fourth quarter, right? They're a team that just loves to just give big quarters and not be able to have the offense in that quarter to balance it out. It's why, a lot of their games have been kind of closer than they've been. But yeah, those would be my ideal teams. Not with our defense. Lakers have been much better defensively. And again, look, the defense needs to be good enough. Right? It doesn't have to be the best. It doesn't have to be elite. Lakers are good enough offensively, and they're the best team in, like, based on playoff metrics, they're the best team in basketball at that, right? Being in the mid-range, field goal percentage, efficiency, right? Like they're good enough to go deep, to go on a deep playoff run just on their offense alone. But you have to be good enough defense. Like you have to just be able to hold your own, right? Lakers so far, the last 15 games have been 14th in defense. If they can kind of maintain that 14 range, then I think the Lakers will be okay. What's going on, Roy? Hey, Tyler, thank you for everything you do. Oh, thank you for us. And I hope for the worst and pray for the best. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Roy. And yes, I mean, that's how you gotta, expect the worst, hope for the best, right? Like, see how things play out, right? Then that way you can't be disappointed, right? Then you can't be disappointed. Cosman, coming out $2 for chat. Thank you so much, buddy. I really appreciate that. Minnesota, Houston. All we needed was a starting five. Yes, agree. And again, those games, despite how I know the Lakers kind of got ran through. I mean, they did get ran through less than 5 games. Every one of those games were winnable. Every one of those games the Lakers could have won. If the Lakers had just if Austin Reeves played half decent, Lakers probably get through the Minnesota series, right? Or if, anybody else, just if you would have gotten just one more guy that showed up, at a reasonable level, Lakers probably beat Minnesota. So I would love Minnesota this year. I'd love Houston. I'm with you on that. I'm just thinking of how it would probably go. Say the Lakers get the 4 seed. Technically they'd probably be playing the Thunder, but my hope would be that the Spurs overtake the Thunder, and then you play the Spurs in the second round. So you go Houston in that 4-5 matchup, and then go Spurs in that in that 1-4 matchup, and then whoever gets through between OKC and Denver, that's who you play. Which I would honestly, if I had to choose between OKC and Denver, I'd rather play OKC. Although you can make the argument for Denver just because the Lakers haven't lost to Denver since we've traded for Luka. So that's something worth noting. But Denver, I mean, Denver might be the best team in basketball, like genuinely. And they're tough. They're tough matchup. And I just, Jokic should be a problem. Where I think the Thunder, I like the Lakers' size. I like how the Lakers match up against them. And again, in the playoff setting, they're not going to be. I mean, you saw it last year in the playoffs. They weren't able to get out in transition as regular. If you control the turnovers, you can win that matchup. But we'll see. We'll see. Appreciate you. Thank you so much again for super chat. Where was I? Here we go. Do you think OKC will be a tougher matchup for the Lakers that's funny. I literally was just talking about this. Than the Nuggets if we face them in the playoffs as it stands. No, like I mentioned, I actually think the Nuggets would be tougher. I just think that, size-wise, they match up better. I think that they have the bigger athletic wings in like a Peyton Watson. They have, Aaron Gordon. They have just things that I think the Lakers would kind of have their handful with on top of having to maintain and manage Jokic. They're deeper than they've been the last few years. I'm not saying the Lakers can't beat Denver, right? I do think they can. And Luka loves to play Denver. So I wouldn't be shocked if he has like an insane playoff run. But OKC is very beatable. I mean, Denver should have beat OKC last year. They just only had like 4 healthy guys, right? If they had one more healthy guy, they win that series, right? OKC is a pain, right? Because they're physical, they're athletic, they're young, they're quick. But it's a bunch of 6'3", to 6'6" guards, right? Lakers are big. Like if you look at the Lakers and OKC matchup, obviously regular season playoffs are very different. But if you look at the Lakers, even before Luka, Lakers have more often than not dominated that matchup. I mean, Lakers almost beat them back to back with the worst team on the road in OKC. It took Luka getting ejected because they didn't want their darling to get to get ran through 2 straight times. Lakers' size has been a problem for OKC because look, say what you want about the Lakers and the roster. Lakers are a big team. Like everybody on that roster is like 6'7" and above, right? Like outside of you remove Marcus Smart. I mean, Austin Reeves and Luke Kennard are, 6'5", but like after that, it's like Luka's 6'7", Rui's 6'8", LeBron 6'9", Jake LaRavia's 6'8", right? You got, obviously Jackson Hayes and all that stuff. Like Lakers are a big team, right? So again, it's one of those things. And OKC's terrible this year at defending the 3. So if the Lakers, like Kennard and Rui would be huge in that matchup. If they can consistently knock down the 3 ball with consistency, OKC loves to give up 3s. And Lakers generate the most wide open look. Lakers would definitely have some advantages against OKC. The other concern I have with the Nuggets is Jamal Murray, right? Jamal Murray, for whatever reason, when he plays the Lakers, is prime Michael Jordan. Every time we play the Lakers or the Nuggets play the Lakers, he's the best player in the world. It's insanity. But you watch him, like, even when they won the championship, I encourage people, go look at his numbers against the Lakers and look at his numbers the rest of the playoffs. He was actually pedestrian throughout the entire playoffs. It was the Lakers series. He just was like otherworldly. Hitting multiple game winners and all. Like, it was ridiculous. It was like, come on, man. Knock it off. Play how good you really are. But Tyler, miracles happen. Zero injury report. Yes, it is. It's nice, and this is great because, as I mentioned, like Lakers haven't gotten a full healthy run, right? Lakers haven't been healthy, and so this is going to be the first time. I mean, this is the first time period that this version of the roster is in its entirety will be healthy, right? So hopefully we can start kind of building that track record and start moving towards, just being in a better position. If Lakers or a first round exit again and don't get any big stars in the offseason, do you think Luka might start considering going back to Dallas if they're competitive? Probably not. I think it's one of those, as long as that ownership and stuff is there, I don't think Luka would want to go back to Dallas. Could he maybe leave? Sure. I don't think so. Right? And it's not even so much about the Lakers getting another star, right? Because look, if Austin Reeves is really good in the playoffs, I know a lot of people don't think you can win with Austin Reeves and Luke in the backcourt, and I lean more towards I would prefer somebody else in the backcourt, more athletic, better two-way guy. But if you get the right, my thing, I don't know if you can have Ayton be your center, right? But if the Lakers say got, Peyton Watson and then traded for a Herb Jones and then went and got a Isaiah Hartenstein, I think you have enough athleticism and kind of margin guys to where Luka and Reeves could do that, especially if Reeves can maintain to the level that he's maintaining. That's the key, though, right? Is this just an outlier year, or is this kind of him turning into a star, right? Really, it's going to be judged on the playoffs, right? How does he do in the playoffs? But thing is he's going to be good enough to where you'd be able to trade him. So that's why I'm not really worried about people oh, you can't give Reeves the money. Teams would trade for him, right? Houston tomorrow would probably trade for him if they could. Even with that bag, right? He's good enough to where teams are going to want that. And, there'll always be the justification well, he was the third option, not the first, right? What does he look like on where he plays a more prominent role type thing, right? And again, in the playoffs, to me, it's more about how does he perform rather than what is his stats? Because again, if Luka and LeBron start dominating the ball more and Reeves ends up I'm not expecting Reeves at that point to average 28, 6 and 6, right? But to me, it's more about the efficiency and how he plays on both sides of the basketball. Again, I don't think you necessarily need another star in the offseason. Obviously, look, if you can get Giannis, then you get Giannis. But I think it's more of can you get the right guys? Right? You go get, like I said, you get a Peyton Watson, you get an Isaiah Hartenstein, you get a trade for a Herb Jones, or, and then all of a sudden Jake LaRavia takes a step next year because he's got another year under his belt, and a Dude Theroux can kind of take a step again next year because he's got another year on his belt, and Bronny and all these guys. And it's wow, we have we got depth, we got athleticism, we got youth, we got versatility, right? You start building out the proper roster alongside Luka. I think he sticks around. Right. It's just, again, it's how can you properly build the roster? JJ couldn't figure out when's a player super cold to may not shoot the ball anymore. So they only figured out how to lose Denver first round. What? JJ couldn't figure out when's the player super cold to make them not shoot the ball anymore. So they only figuring out how to lose Denver in the first round. I'm sorry. I'm trying to figure, are you saying you're saying JJ lets people, I mean, again, even if somebody has cold hand, if you're wide open, shoot the basketball, right? I don't blame JJ for giving their players. You do more damage when you don't shoot the basketball, right? A lot of people are oh man, this guy can't hit a shot. Stop shooting the basketball. No, again, everyone's getting set. You're running in your actions. If you're wide open, I'm expecting you to shoot the basketball. So I'm boxing out. I'm in position. You don't shoot the basketball. You swing it out. Now you're disrupting the flow. Now you make it hard. Now you get a turnover and they're running in transit because you just disrupt. Everyone is in position for you to take the shot, right? So again, it's not about oh, JJ can't figure out to get the cold hand. No, if Vandal's wide open, even though he's the worst three-point shooter on the team, he still needs to take the shot, right? Because again, that's how we're going to be able to get back on defense, how we're going to be able to establish and get offensive rebounds and put us in advantage plays and stuff like that. Spurs will cook us round one. I'm good. I disagree. Again, we won't know until we actually play them, but I like the matchup. Offseason plan, sign and trade LeBron and Bronny for Jared Allen and Max Strus as expiring. Maybe add a swap, re-sign AR, 25 to 30 million, 4-year range. Sign restricted free agent Peyton Watson or Tari Eason. I think Austin Reeves is probably going to get probably 35 to 40 million range. If he was willing to take 25 million, then he could have just taken an extension, right? Because his extension was around that 25 million mark. So if he wants his money, right? Good thing is his cap hit is only 20 million. So luckily the Lakers can go into the apron in order to sign him. But there's also some tricky things, right? Like if you do a sign and trade, then now you're hard capped at the first apron and stuff like that. Now, the sign and trade hard cap only affects the team receiving the player. So let's say, Denver's like, hey, let's do a sign and trade for Peyton Watson. Or, the Houston Rockets are like, hey, let's do a sign and trade for Tari Eason. Then Lakers have to keep that in mind that would hard cap them, right? So a couple factors with that. If LeBron does end up wanting to go to Cleveland, then yes, I think they'll probably end up trading for Jared Allen. I wouldn't mind Max Strus. I don't mind keeping Bronny James personally. I don't. I think he's been really good this year, right? He definitely needs to improve and work on some areas, particularly his touch offensively. But he's been one of our, if not arguably our best on-ball defensive player. He's getting more and more comfortable. He's starting to, he's already figured out 70% of the battle offensively, right? His ability to get to his spots, his ability to shoot over the top. Problem is he just hasn't found that consistent touch. Right. Once he gets that touch, he might be a problem. I'm not expecting to be a superstar or anything like that, but just athletic. If he can be an athletic two-way Gabe Vincent, like not the Gabe Vincent we got, the Gabe Vincent we were expecting, right? A legit 3-and-D guard. Like Bronny James on paper is the exact type of player we need. People just don't like Bronny because it's LeBron's kid. But like, again, he's the exact type of player that you want to grow. And he's the youngest player on the team. So like literally, think about this. You could let Bronny continue to develop and look at the strides he's already made. You could let Bronny continue to develop for the next 3 years and he'd be still younger than Dalton Connect. Like it's crazy. Tyler. What's good, Tyler? Lakers are back tomorrow. I know I can't wait. Second half of the season begins and it's time for them to lock in. Need to finish this season strong. Agreed. This is where you start again, really hone in, start to fight and get your playoff seeding involved and all that stuff. So this is huge, right? This is a really big stretch for the Lakers. 28 games. You got 28 games. Time to lock in, lock down, and get ready. I can't remember who it was, but someone said that the Lakers are preparing an all-out pursuit for Giannis. Yes, I did a video about it. I didn't post it because we had some other things to talk about, but other video tomorrow. It was Sam Amick said that the Lakers are expected to have an all-out pursuit for Giannis. I want Giannis, but not getting my hopes up too much because it's highly unlikely. Again, I talked about it in that video. The whole, because everyone's like, oh, Lakers don't have any. Like, why would Milwaukee do that? Lakers only have 3 firsts to add. It's not that. It's again, if they trade Giannis, they're gonna now go into asset accumulation. They're going to go into kind of, trying to put themselves in a position to kind of rebuild and restructure. What the Lakers offer that no one else does is the ability to get a $50+ million trade exception, which then they can use to accumulate. The Milwaukee Bucks would get more assets in the long run from the Lakers trade than they would from anyone else. Right? Like a Knicks trade. Knicks don't have picks. They don't have a bunch of picks that they could throw at them. Yeah, they have Mikal Bridges and an OG Anunoby and Karl Anthony Towns, stuff like that, but you're probably not getting much for Karl Anthony Towns. Maybe you get a couple firsts from Mikal Bridges, but those firsts are probably just the equivalent of what the Lakers would give you. And you don't really like Mikal Bridges doesn't really make sense for them. So that even would be something silly where, again, the Lakers now I give you 3 firsts, I'll give you 3 swaps, I'll give you my second. You get a bunch of assets that you now have control over. And then also now you get a $50 million trade exception. So now you can do things like, like what Brooklyn did where, we can use our trade exception, take on a Michael Porter Jr., get a first round pick in the deal and then turn around and flip Michael Porter Jr. into 2 firsts. Now you just got 3 more firsts that you wouldn't have gotten otherwise by doing any of these other trades. Same thing with Minnesota, same thing with Miami. What were all those teams trying to do? They were trying to turn players into picks. They were trying to get the picks in order to get it done. Lakers would already have the picks. Oh yeah, by the way, we can get you a $50 million trade exception to where you can go get more picks. And now, so if I'm Milwaukee, I'm looking at it as like, okay, I can get 3 firsts from the Lakers, plus, maybe in a Dude Thero and a Dalton Connect, 2 young guys, plus 3 firsts. But now I have a $50 million trade exception that now I can use to go and take on a bad contract, right? You get a team that, the KCP situation with the Memphis Grizzlies, where they were able to get an extra pick or 2 just to take on KCP's contract. You get team like the Denver Nuggets, right? Milwaukee could go, hey, we'll take on Cam Johnson, give us a first, and then that way you have you can keep Peyton Watson. And now Milwaukee ends up having Cam Johnson plus a first, and now they can look to trade Cam Johnson or let the money fall off the books. Or the other side is they could just get off of the $50 million. If they don't want to use their trade exception, they just want to, because remember, they're paying Damian Lillard, $25 million a year for the next few years. Like that's why there is this belief that the Lakers have a real shot at getting Giannis. It's not just, all they have to offer is 3 firsts. No, it's they have 3 firsts, plus they have that something that no other team that realistically could get Giannis can offer. So that's why you keep hearing reports from different insiders, different people, neutral people, Lakers people, all of it are like, hey, no, Lakers might actually be able to do this thing. I still think it's going to take some nudging from Giannis, but again, I wouldn't be shocked if that ends up happening. Re-signing Rui cheap, 10 to 12 million range. Re-sign Kennard in the 4 to 6.5 million range. Try to get DeMar if bought out by the Kings, only if on a discount on a small deal, and maybe another 3-and-D. I'm hoping Zach LaVine gets bought out. I would love to have Zach LaVine. Along like his off-ball shooting. I mean, he's one of the best catch and shoot 3-point shooters in the league. And if you can get him for a vet minimum, like I think you get him. But yeah, Lakers definitely will have some. You added more to that. Also, try to trade expiring's Max Strus if he gets in a sign and trade. Vando Connect 2 picks and add some swaps if necessary for Trey Murphy III and Carlo Malkovich. I would love to get Trey Murphy. I mean, again, I think what's going to happen is either the Lakers are going to land. Lakers are going to get somebody. Right? Lakers have too much cap space, and there's too many options for them not to get somebody. I could see something. I really like. I would love to get Peyton Watson. I don't know. Like, I could see Denver going like, "Hey, we'll give you Cam Johnson in a first." And if you're the Lakers, you might be better off taking that, because now you got Cam Johnson, who's an expiring contract and the exact type of player you need, but now you have 4 firsts to go and make a move. And, Denver might match regardless. So, it's like, okay, yeah, we could throw money at Peyton Watson, have our money tied up, and then Denver matches and now we're in trouble. And then Denver tries to figure out what to do with Cam Johnson. Or you could kind of, use that. And then now I have 4 firsts. I can go throw the money at Tari Eason and then trade for Trey Murphy. Give up 3 firsts for Trey Murphy, still have a first and a bunch of other things. Now I have, Cam Johnson, Trey Murphy, Tari Eason. Like, now I'm in position. And then I have a first plus Cam Johnson to now go and make a trade at the deadline if I'm missing something, or maybe turn Cam Johnson into a center, right? Like, maybe I don't know, trade for Nick Claxton or something like that, right? It give the Lakers options. Let's see. If JJ didn't go small, we beat the Wolves. Don't blame Reeves. That's not true. Again, Jackson Hayes was getting dominated. Like, I like Jackson Hayes. Don't get me wrong. Like, Jackson Hayes, it wasn't like Jackson Hayes was like killing it and JJ just decided. Like, Lakers had more success with the small ball, right? Again, Reeves was not good in that series. It's okay to be honest, right? Again, there's nothing wrong with being a Reeves fan and being, diehard Reeves, but to pretend like Reeves wasn't a problem in that series. Again, he wasn't the sole problem, right? You don't lose a series just on one guy. But to pretend like Austin Reeves wasn't cheeks in that series is just, it's silly. Like, come on. Like, we can be honest. He had a bad series. Like, again, I like Austin Reeves. He's great. The problem is a lot of Reeves fans, like, they refuse to admit the flaws, but they'll like point out LeBron, you can point out Luka. It's like, God, Austin Reeves is just the most perfect player to ever play the game of basketball. It's crazy. Like, again, that's why it's tough. Matt, hey, Tyler. Thanks for having the stream. Well, thank you for being here. And everybody, seriously, I really do appreciate it. Just wanted to ask your personal opinion, but why do you think watching the Lakers is so fun? I have friends that aren't even fans that literally watch every game. Because, I mean, it's the Lakers, right? The history, the legacy, right? I mean, you got LeBron, you got Luka. You usually have star power. The media, right? You either love the Lakers, you hate the Lakers. So you're either rooting for them to lose or you're rooting for them to win, and then you have all just like the narratives and stuff like that around the Lakers, it's like the whole, I see comments regularly, people like, oh, I can't wait for LeBron to be gone so we can be rid of the drama. The Lakers have always had drama, from Magic Johnson, Tragic Johnson, those that Showtime days to Shaq and Kobe Lakers, right? Like to, Kobe wanting to be traded to, I mean, there's always a circus around the Lakers because it's the Lakers and it's LA and all that stuff that attracts, right? People are like into it and excited and see, there's a lot of things, but appreciate you, Matt. Perfect offseason. Luka, AR, Peyton, Watt, Tari, Trey Murphy, Jared Allen, bench, Smart, Kennard, DeMar, Rui, Ayton. Reserves, Buffkin, cheap 3-and-D, Adu, Malkovich, and Hayes, or a third string center. I think Hayes sticks around. Him and Luka's connection, and Hayes has been really good this year, man. Like, really, like, he's been much better than he was last year. This Jackson Hayes would actually be better in that. Like, I wish we had this Jackson Hayes in that Minnesota series. You might have been able to play him a little more. But yeah, something like that would be great. Do you really think Watson is realistic? Possibly for us. I'm just not sure because I don't see Denver letting him go, especially to the Lakers of all teams. I would love him, but I'm not sure. Is it realistic? Yes, absolutely. Is it real? Like 100%. The Denver Nuggets are like $4 million away from the second apron, right? And if I'm not mistaken, doesn't Christian Brown's extension kick in next year? Right. So they're already going to be in trouble. Right. They would have to get off of a Cam Johnson or a Christian Brown, which I don't think anyone's taking Christian Brown, not without giving up multiple firsts, because he has multiple years on his deal and he's not been that good this year. Cam Johnson, several teams would want, don't get me wrong, but like, I see a lot of people, like I've seen people, because I even talked about, people are like, oh, like Denver's not giving up a first for Cam Johnson. He's expiring and he's a good player, so teams will want him. Yes, but you're ignoring the fact that they can't, it's not a normal trade, right? They're not looking to just trade Cam Johnson and get assets and stuff, or another young player. They need to get off of his entire contract. That costs money. That costs. No team is just going to do that out of the kindness of their heart, even for a really good player like Cam Johnson, right? Maybe it won't take a first, maybe it'll be a couple seconds, but if you're the Lakers, you're holding firm at a first. I either want a first or I'm throwing $30 million at the league. Problem is, Lakers would have to overpay for Peyton Watson, but like I've talked about, I don't mind it because there is risk, right? Like, we've seen guys have incredible seasons and not be able to sustain it. You're taking a risk on him being able to sustain the level of play that he had this year, and continue to grow and build going forward. But if I would overpay for him, but I would structure the contracts to where, like, you're giving him $30 million this year, but then he's making 27, 24, and 21 the last year. So it averages out to, whatever, 24 million a year, whatever. But Denver still wouldn't be able to match that because at least the first 3 years they'd be in purgatory. Right. So it's like for 3 years, you're not going to be able to do nothing. Right. So you better hope that this team is good enough. Right. Because you're basically stuck. Right. And so those are kind of the things. And being a second apron team, and they'd be well into the second apron. Right. So it wouldn't be like the Cavs were close to the second apron, so they were able to get under it. team like Denver would be well into the second apron. So yes, it is very it's very realistic. But like I mentioned, the other route might be just like Denver going, hey, here's Cam Johnson in a first. Which if you're the Lakers, I think you take. I'd love Peyton Watson, UCLA guy. Give me Peyton Watson. But there's other guys that you can get that now you have more assets to make other moves and do other things. And it's not like Cam Johnson isn't the exact type of player that you want. And again, he's an expiring contract that you could trade at the deadline or something like that. Or you can turn him into something, right? Like, you know, again, like the Pelicans, you could be like, hey, we'll give you Cam Johnson and 3 firsts for Herb Jones and Trey Murphy, right? So at least you get a 3-and-D wing to replace those two, and then you get a couple of picks, right? You get 3 firsts, and then we still have a first, but now you got Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, go sign an Isaiah Hartenstein, Luka, like there's pass. Do you think we get to 52 games? No, I think we'll probably be at 50, maybe 51. 52, it's possible, but Lakers have 28 games. So you'd need to go 19-9. It's tough. I originally predicted the Lakers that win 53 games. I also didn't expect Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves to miss the whole season thus far, right? Like, but I think it's I think 50. I think 17-11 the rest of the way get you to 50 wins. Lakers have been on that pace even despite their struggles. I think they get to 50 wins. I think 50 is probably realistic. Tyler, a very interesting point. What teams should move to the Eastern Conference if they add 2 expansion teams in the near future? Seattle and Vegas being the most likely option. Memphis, Minnesota. Yeah, I mean, Memphis, Minnesota are probably the 2. New Orleans, right? Like, those are probably the 3 teams that you would want to move. I know, like, because it depends on how the NBA wants to bracket it, right? Because there's an argument to go with Minnesota, and then you kind of have that, like, bracket, like that, you know, around Lake Michigan, and then bracket. Memphis kind of gives you that, like, you know, Eastern bracket. Like, Memphis usually is the team that gets brought up because they're like central, like they're like closer to the East Coast, so you have like less travel time and stuff like that for both sides. So my guess is probably Memphis, Minnesota. You could argue to keep Minnesota and kind of create that, like, you know, you on the west side, and then kind of go New Orleans, like have New Orleans and then Memphis. There's an argument for that either way. My guess is probably Memphis and New Orleans. I think Memphis and New Orleans end up going east. Let's see. Patrick, coming out the $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Who's a bigger disappointment? Ja Morant, Zion, or another player? They will have to get rid of the 65 game rule. Also, a great show, man. Well, thank you. I appreciate you, Patrick. Personally, to me, Ja Morant, right? Zion, I've talked about, like, Zion, he's somebody that should be in top 5 conversations every season. Not all time. I'm talking about like in the league. I mean, that dude has everything. That dude is an absolute monster. He's such a mismatch, right? The reason Ja is more of a disappointment for me is because his issues are more, he's one of those guys that just can't get out of his own way. And it's really disappointing to watch, you know, people self-sabotage, right? Like, you know, this is a guy that had the opportunity to literally be the face of the league. And I know he said he didn't want that and stuff like that, but it's one thing to, like, you know, just be like, that's really not my thing. It's another thing to just like self-implode in order to distance yourself from that, right? It's just like his decision-making. It's just, again, it's very disappointing for just such a talented player. I want to see him have success. Like, he's somebody that would be just, I mean, you're talking about somebody that has potential to be all-time great, right? Like, and he wants to play cool guy. And it's like, for what? Like, why? Like, why does it matter? You know, like, why, you know, you running around like, oh, it's a lighter and stuff, like, but you knew, like, you already made the mistake once and now you're coming back, and it's like, what? Like, what's the point? So what? You can look cool on IG? Like, you know, he's over here like trying to fight kids and stuff like that. What? So he can look, so it looks tough. It's like, Who cares, man? You won. You won at life. You got all the money in the world. You're one of the best players in the world. Like it's just, it frustrates me when people have just everything at their fingertips and they just like self-sabotage. You see athletes all the time just doing stuff. It's just like, was that worth it? Like, and it's just, so Shaw has been more disappointing for me because again, he's just such an incredible talent that, sky was the limit for that young man. And I don't know if he can get back to that. Now he's having injury issues and stuff like that. And it's just, Zion, don't get me wrong, Zion's not making the best choices, but his is more, he's the T-Pain, I'm in love with the stripper, right? He's not over there trying to be like super macho, cool guy. His is more injury issues and not so much self-inflicted, right? Would be the way I'd put it. But anyway, I appreciate you. Great question too. Where was I? Shoot. Oh, here we go. Perfect. Do you think we could get Watson and Tari Eason and resign Reeves along with getting other people? Sounds pretty unrealistic, but we would be instant contenders. Technically, yes, right? So a couple things about that. How much cap space do the Lakers actually end up having, right? Because they're projected to have anywhere from $48.5 million to as much as $60 million, right? We don't know exactly how much the cap is going to go up, so we don't know the exact numbers, right? Big difference between having $60 million and $48 million, right? Because if you get, let's say you get, Tari Eason for, 18 million, and then you go get, Isaiah Hartenstein, and he's like, hey, I'll take 15 million. Well, now you still have 30 million or just under, you have 27 million to still go make a move, or 27 million to still go make a move for a Peyton Watson, which might be enough to put them out of reach. And then you're not worried about Austin Reeves because Austin Reeves' cap hit is only 20 million. So you can go over in order to keep him and retain him. So technically, yes, the Lakers could get a Watson, Tari Eason, and Isaiah Hartenstein. The problem is it's like that is probably a little unrealistic just because, again, you'd be talking like Tari is going to want to try to get as much money as possible. Peyton Watson's going to want to try to get as much money as possible. Isaiah Hartenstein's probably going to want to get as much money as possible, right? These guys are going to want to be paid while also being on a team. I think what's more realistic is Lakers land, because I think Tari Eason would be cheaper because Houston's all right. Like they're going to have to give, why am I blanking on his name? Darn it. Why am I blanking on his name? The twin. Why am I blanking on his name? Anyway, they're going to have to give him like $250 million, right? Is his next extension. Now that wouldn't kick into the following year, but if you go and give Tari Eason $25 million, whatever, you got to give him the money, and then you got to go give Min Thompson. There we go. And you'd have to give, you're going to have to pay Jabari Smith Jr. Like they're going to get expensive and fast. So Tari Eason, I think, is probably a little more realistic, but I could see something like a Tari Eason and then, like I mentioned, a Cam Johnson, or you go get a Cam Johnson, then you go get a Herb Jones and then sign an Isaiah Hartenstein. So I do think it's possible for the Lakers to end up landing what they need. It's just, again, how are they going to be able to kind of configure it? How realistic we can get Cam Johnson from Denver this summer? I think if the Lakers are willing to take him, like just absorb him, I think I would be, nothing's 100%, but I think it's pretty close, right? As soon as the offseason started, if they were like, hey, give us Cam Johnson, we'll just give us Cam Johnson for free. I think Denver does it for sure because now they could keep Peyton Watson. And then now the Lakers got a legit 3-and-D guy on an expiring contract. Problem is, if I'm the Lakers, I wouldn't just take him just for free. Like, you got to pay up because otherwise, like, again, Lakers are in the driver's seat. Again, they can't just trade Cam Johnson, right? They have to trade. They need somebody to take his entire salary. So guess what any team that has cap space in the offseason, guess what they're all going to say? Yeah, we'll do that, but we need a first, right? So, maybe Lakers are willing, if every team wants a first, maybe the Lakers are willing to take, a couple seconds, or, maybe all the other teams want unprotected first. Maybe the Lakers are willing to make it like top 4 protected or something like that, kind of, we'll keep it in that range. Can we re-sign Reeves, Kennard, Rui, and get Peyton Watson? Again, technically, it just depends on how much Peyton Watson is going to cost. Again, and it depends on how much cap space the Lakers have. Lakers have $60 million, and you give Peyton Watson $30 million. Kennard's probably in that like $6 to $8 million range. Rui, is he willing to take 15? Then yeah, you could bring both those guys in with Peyton Watson and still sign a couple guys and still have an exception. So, again, it's just how much cap space the Lakers have and how much would it cost to retain all those guys. These are the questions. I really hope we can get Hart from OKC. I'm not sure how. Darn it, I can't see it. There we go. I'm not sure how it's spelled, his full name. And Dort. I don't know if they'd let both go, and I'm sure that they have a great shot at retaining them, but I really want them. So it is incredibly, unless they just do some like crazy restructuring, it is like probably 90% or more that they're going to lose at least one of them. And it's probably Isaiah Hartenstein, just because of how much he's going to make. The argument for Dort is they already have 10 other guys that can all do what he does, right? Like, again, you have, Isaiah Joe, and, you have basically a handful of guys that can play that role, Caruso, all that stuff. I mean, they might have to let Caruso go too, right? Like, so I don't know if they'll let both go, but I'm pretty confident at least one will be available. Pretty confident Lakers can get at least one of them. Which, again, that might be the play. Let's say they get off of Isaiah Hartenstein. You bring in Hartenstein, you go trade for, Cam Johnson, and then sign Atari Eason, and let's go win a championship, right? Like, there's certain things that the Lakers can do. Let's see. Healthy Thunder runs us off the court. Can't keep up with the youth. Again, playoffs and regular season are not the same thing. Game slows down, becomes more of a half-court game, right? I don't think Hart would be a nice fit next to Luka. More of a mid-range center than a lob threat. No. I mean, he can definitely be the lob threat. He has the athleticism. He's just, Lakers need, especially if they're going to have Luka and Austin Reeves in the backcourt, you need a very good defensive and you need a very good margin center, right? I think Ayton can be the long-term center. I do. I think, again, you need the right team around Ayton, though. And the problem is like, you either need two just hyper athletic, versatile, like you need a dude Thero to essentially become the best defender in the league and then clone him, right? So that way you have two basically 6'8", hyper athletic, versatile defensive players that can defend at a high level and cover a bunch of ground, right? Like, or you need Jared Vanderbilt to magically become a 40% three-point shooter because Vandal just covers so much ground. You either need like hyper athleticism and versatile defenders, or you got to get off of Ayton and get a more margin center. Isaiah Hartenstein is one of the best margin centers in basketball. So I actually think he would be great. I mean, you can make an argument he's one of the better, kind of for what the Lakers need, one of the better options in that. And again, he has the bounce. He's not like Jackson Hayes bounce, but like there's not really very many centers that have that. But as far as a lob threat goes, he can be a lob threat. But he can knock down and create a little offense for himself. But they ain't moving Braun. Cam has been atrocious this year. So they might lose him. The Lakers could offer him the whole MLE and even more. We would be competing with the Bulls and Nets to get him. Cam, are you talking about Cam? I'm assuming you're talking about Bron. You're talking about Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson has one more year on his deal. He has another year on his deal next year. If that's who you're talking about. So he might lose him unless I don't know who other Cam are you talking about. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I'm assuming you're talking about Cam Johnson, which again I believe he has another year, or he does have another year. Since LeBron has been a Laker only twice, there's been no one on the injury report. That is absolutely insane, bro. And who's the new guy we hired? Is he a non-basketball business or basketball business? So he basically is replacing Tim Harris, who he basically is the business side. He's going to be handling some of the business things. He basically did it with the Dodgers. They're bringing him in to do it with the Lakers. So it's nothing to do with basketball, right? So he's not going to, like I saw people like, oh, like you're bringing in a baseball guy to, again, it's the business side of things, right? He's really good at running and operating the marketing and business side of sports, period, right? Like, so it's not a basketball thing. All right. So this is fine. This will be great. Reeves is putting up better numbers than Kyrie, and we went to the finals with Kyrie. Yes, but a couple of things about that. Kyrie shows up in the playoffs, and he's a better off-ball shooter. He's, and they had the right pieces, right? They had athleticism and defense and switchability, and they made it to the finals on the back of their defense. It wasn't their offense. Like, their offense wasn't very good in that run. But it was, Derek Lively had probably the best defensive performance of a center maybe ever. Like, the guy just was like an absolute monster. Derek Jones Jr. became like the ideal 3-and-D wing, right? PJ Washington went from a guy that was looked at as like a bench player, that doesn't play defense, and just to literally being their defensive anchor, right? Like, it's just things kind of fell perfectly. But yeah, Austin Reeves, again, it's the playoff performance. Can he show up in the playoffs? iHeart is a really good option, but I do think we need a defensive anchor. He would be more of an upgrade on Ayton, but we need a guy like Kessler, Allen, type of player. Look, if LeBron ends up wanting to go to Cleveland in the offseason, the Lakers center is probably going to be Jared Allen, because Lakers would probably do a sign and trade and end up landing Jared Allen. Jared Allen, Walker Kessler would be great. I think, as much as it pains me because I really want Walker Kessler, I think Utah matches whatever it takes to get Kessler. Allen, I think, is very realistic if LeBron ends up wanting to go to Cleveland, because they're not, like, LeBron's not going to take a minimum, right? Like, I've seen people be like, oh, like, he'll do it out of spite. He doesn't need the money. Well, if he's willing to take a minimum, then he might as well take a minimum with the Lakers, right? Because then the Lakers could they could build out a better team than Cleveland, and LeBron wouldn't have to be like the second best player on the team, right? Like so again, it's just he's gonna have to take a discount regardless. But the only way Cleveland realistically is probably, because again, if you sign and trade for LeBron, you're gonna be hard kept at the first apron. So realistically, they're probably going to have to sign and trade Jared Allen for him. So Allen might be a real option. Isaiah Hartenstein's good enough defensively for what you need, especially if you get the proper wing defenders. He's not like a defensive anchor, yes, but he's a really good margin guy. He's really good at offensive rebounds, being in the right spot. He's versatile enough defensively. He hustles, he plays hard, right? Like, he's somebody that I think would be fine. I think you'd be good with somebody like Isaiah Hartenstein. Obviously, it depends on the cost, how much it costs. Let's see. Luka Reeves, Peyton Watson, Rui, some centers, Smart, Kennard, Laravia, Vando, Hayes, Buffkin, Connect might be a strong contender. To be honest, again, you get the right pieces, you get the right things. Lakers might be right in the thick of it. Would a sign and trade where Rui goes to Detroit Karis LeVert goes to the Mavs as expiring, and PJ Washington goes to the Lakers. I mean, yeah, if you could do something like that, as long as the Lakers aren't taking on, the a player that is the sign and trade, but at the end of the day, it I wouldn't hate it. I want kind of more of a younger kind of two-way wing personally, but we'll see. Your takes are delusional, yet you're here. So can't be that delusional because you're here like everyone else in all the videos, right? Unfortunately, you have such a great name. It's really disappointing that, you just, again, have nothing going on in your life. You're one of the bad Tylers. I get it. Poor guy. It's okay. The GOAT's back at it again with amazing videos and live stream. Well, thank you, Jason. Seriously, I appreciate it. I really do appreciate it. AR should take the Jalen Brunson approach and try to get a discount to get more competitive team. I like Bronny too, but to be honest, I think if Bron is going to Cleveland, Bronny might also be involved. I mean, it's possible. I mean, if he wants to go to his dad, like goes with his dad, or LeBron wants to go with him, but one of the things that like both LeBron and Bronny have talked about is that like he wants to carve his own path. So I just think like it's kind of hard to say like, oh, I want to carve my own path and then end up going to the same place that your dad ends up going to do again. And again, Bronny, like it's not a Giannis situation where it's like, oh man, we got to take on his brother just to have like Bronny's actually good. It makes sense, right? He's actually the type of player that you need. As far as like AR taking the Jalen Brunson approach, I wouldn't be shocked if he takes a discount. The problem is if you're AR, you're looking at it as like, dude, I've done everything. Like I've already taken the discounts, right? Like I could have gotten 20+ million on my last contract, but ended up taking 14, right? Like it's just like this might be his one opportunity to get the bag, right? Like I could see him, instead of 43 million this year starting, I can see him maybe taking like, 35, something like that. I think it's really going to come down to his playoffs. If he balls out in the playoffs, then I'll have a lot more leverage. If he's kind of dump truck again in the playoffs, then that might be a problem. Lakers trading Rui for 3 first-round picks and bringing in Giannis. LeBron better take a pay cut. Wait, are you saying the Lakers are going to trade Rui for 3 first-round picks? I mean, I would be shocked if they could even get one first for him. You don't think if the Lakers could have gotten a first for Rui, they would have traded him? I don't really see that. Another brain dead troller. Yay, someone wanted Tyler's dead. Of course, that's how it always is. They have nothing going on. They're lonely. They're bored. They're like, oh man, let me get some attention from this awesome guy. I appreciate you, RJ. If the Lakers give all that up, what moves could they do to compete with the roster? Seems they'll be at a disadvantage doing that. Again, a couple factors, right? Again, how much cap space do they have, right? If the Lakers, let's say Lakers do end up with 60 million, right? And you basically send out like a Dude Thero, Dalton Connect, I would love to try to convince them to take Jared Vanderbilt, but realistically, say they take a Dude Thero and Dalton Connect. So then Lakers, after the Giannis trade, like absorbing the Giannis trade, Lakers would have about 20 million left over, right? You can go a couple routes. So you'd have 20 million plus your exception. Lakers wouldn't be hard capped, by the way, which is good. Where if they did like a sign and trade for a Peyton Watson or Tari Eason, they'd be hard capped. So Lakers wouldn't be hard capped, which is key. So, luckily, Austin Reeves, you can go over the cap to keep because you have 20 million. So you could do multiple things. You could either A, fill out the rest of the roster with kind of key rotation guys, right? Because you're going to have depth already. I mean, basically the entire roster you have right now would still be here, or most of them would still be here, but they'd all be bench guys. So you're not going for Peyton Watson and Tari Eason. I mean, you could maybe throw money at Tari Eason, right? But realistically speaking, you're probably looking at guys like Keon Ellis, Ayo Dosunmu, right? Like the free agents on the market, Akaya Baji, could you maybe throw, get somebody like him? And you're kind of trying to round out the starting and back end depth and versatility. The other route would be, if you land Giannis, you ask Austin Reeves, where do you want to go? And you basically do a sign and trade, and you get 40 million worth of depth. So let's say a team like Houston, right? Houston could use somebody like Austin Reeves. Could you get like a Jabari Smith Jr. and a Tari Eason for Austin Reeves in a sign and trade? Something like that. Or Minnesota, right? Would they be willing to give a Jaden McDaniels for an Austin Reeves? Maybe even recoup some assets in the deal, right? You'd be looking for a team that desperately needs a playmaker. And, and again, Austin Reeves would have to want to go there. Like Houston, I could see, like there's a couple teams that I could see him maybe wanting to go to. And you try to get the starting level in depth in that way. So you have Luka, Giannis, probably keeping DeAndre Ayton at that point. And then, Keon Ellis. And then again, can you get a Jabari Smith or a perfect world like Jaden McDaniels, something like that, where you're still getting a clear-cut starting level wing. You're bringing in, a kind of point of attack two-way guy. You still have like Laravia, Marcus Smart, and all that stuff. That's how you basically do it. The moves sound great, but we got a dummy at the helm. Rob Pelinka's probably not going to be the GM next year. The Lakers, Mark Walters is probably going to hire a new GM. Until Reeves proves it in the playoffs, he's not worth $50 million a year. I agree. His first year, I think, starts at like $43 million, but yeah. His new contract basically averages out to like $58 million. 16.2 Reeves average 16 against the Wolves. That's the best number by a third option on the team in the playoffs. Just a hater. Again, you mention this every time, and every time I've told you, again, don't just cherry pick. Again, you're going to make an argument. Quit cherry picking. You do this every comment, every video. Again, I'm either going to start ignoring it or you need to stop cherry picking. Again, 16 points on 16 attempts, shooting 31% from three-point range is not good, right? Like, again, Austin Reeves being inefficient and a liability defensively, again, it's not being a hater. It's okay. I get it. You're a big Reeves stan, but this is why people don't take Reeves stans serious. This is why people think Reeves stans are obnoxious because, again, I like Austin Reeves. I'm big on Austin Reeves. I think Austin Reeves is an excellent player, but we can be honest. We can stop playing these fairy tale make-believes, right? Again, it's okay to be like, hey, Austin Reeves had a bad playoff run. Hey, Austin Reeves hasn't been great in the playoffs. Again, last year, Austin Reeves averaged 16.2 points on 14.6 attempts. 16.2 points on 14. Let me repeat that for you. 14.6 attempts. He shot 41.1% from the floor. He shot 31.9%, so 32% from three-point range on 9.4 attempts. Again, if you're going, he averaged 3 turnovers a game. He averaged 3.6 assists and 2.8 turnovers. He had almost as many turnovers as assists. That's not a hater. That is facts. Again, quit cherry picking. Quit lying to try to make your argument. Again, he scored 16 points a game. Yes, on almost 15 attempts. He shot 41% from the field, including 30. I'll be nice and round up. 32% from three-point range on 9 attempts. He had as many turnovers as he did assists. Like, again, stop being delusional. Like, you're gonna call me a hater, but you're again. If you're going to call me a hater, at least present the facts. At least be honest, right? Like, it's easy to just lie, right? Like, I can make it seem like any player's a superstar if I, just show you the highlights. But Again, quit lying to make your point. Again, if you're going to be honest, be honest. Otherwise, quit talking about Austin Reeves because you're making yourself look foolish on the internet every time. Literally every live stream, you leave the same comment. And every time I got to embarrass you in front of everybody. Stop making me do that. I don't want to embarrass you, but you keep coming for the king and you keep missing. God. Anyway, let's get back to it. Let's get back. Tyler, have you seen the new anti-taking rules? Yes, and I hate it. Like, it's just, they're trying to go too extreme. Again, either leave it or just make it a cycle. I've said this before. I think the best way, I actually talked about, let me plug my NBA channel because I actually did a video on all this stuff. But I never promote my NBA channel, which is the problem. And I need to get that monetized. Still not monetized because I just haven't been consistently doing it. So let me come here real quick. Let me come over here real quick. If you could, go subscribe to that channel, 1. 2, after this live stream, which will probably only go about 15 minutes. After this live stream, I would really love it if you all just like went and watched those videos. I mean, even play all, go take a shower, go to sleep, let it play. I'm close. I'm almost close to monetization. I need I think it's like 600 watch hours, something like that, which sounds like a lot, but it's really not. Like if you watch, if 20 people watched like all those videos, I'd get it. But I hate the anti-taking rule. I just think either A, just leave it at this point, or B, just do the cycle where you get the first pick and then you drop down to the 32nd pick. And then you go up and you keep going. And yes, you're going to have times where, OKC ends up with the number 1 pick in the draft. Right. But again, that happens regardless. Right. OKC is already in that position where they could end up with a top pick in this year's draft. Good teams are always going to be good teams. The NBA is trying so hard to punish the good teams because bad teams want to be bad. Again, how do you do that? You remove all incentive. If I have no reason to tank, why would I tank? If I'm the worst team in basketball and I have the 25th pick, I'm not getting a top 5 pick for 20 years. At that point, there's no, I'm going to just tank for 20 years. I think that if you want to solve it, that's the best way to do it. Right. Again, you're going to end up having some crazy situations. You're going to have, a James Worthy situation or a Tim Duncan on the Spurs where, they get the top pick. But you get that anyway. OKC could end up with the top pick, right? Good organizations are always going to, the NBA keeps changing the CBA, keeps doing everything they can to try to add, parity in the league and stuff like that. And yet the same bad teams are still the same bad teams. That's crazy, right? It's almost like those teams want to be bad, right? It's crazy to me. Bad organizations are always going to be bad organizations, right? It's not a coincidence that the teams that usually are good every year stay good, right? And if they're down, they're not down for too long. AR ain't worth that much money. It depends on what he does in the playoffs. If he plays like he does right now, then kind of be hard to say no to that. Ben Simmons is the biggest. I mean, you're not wrong. AR is worth $40 million. I think, like I said, I think it depends on how he performs come playoff time. If he's really good come playoff time, we're good. I would prefer the Wolves go east, so we don't have to deal with them with Ant anymore. Although I don't see that happening, but it would be nice. Ant is amazing. Let's see. Lakers could use a 7 wins out of 10 streak. Yeah, agreed. It'd be nice to kind of, go on a nice little streak, get themselves in order. Yes, thank you so much for the amend. Yes, I kept blanking on who it was, but thank you. If Luka is a $50-60 million player, AR is 40. AR almost as good as Luka. He is 80%. I don't know about 80%, but I mean he's definitely a Luka light. Here's the difference though. Luka's worth 50 or 60 million because he's the best playoff performer behind Michael Jordan ever. Right? Every metric. The problem is AR is not, I mean, AR's been bad in as many playoff games or series as he's been good. People forget the Golden State Warriors series. We won that series, but like go back and watch that series. Austin Reeves was getting just embarrassed. Klay Thompson was making him hold his pocket. Like it was bad. Right? D'Angelo Russell, you can make an argument even Austin Reeves wasn't super great in the Memphis series. He was good, but he was like D'Lo was the one that saved the Lakers in that Memphis series. D'Lo was also good in the Warriors series, right? It was the Denver series where Austin Reeves was really good and D'Lo just kind of fell off a cliff for us. And people just remember that. And then Austin Reeves wasn't great in that next Denver series. And he wasn't good in the Minnesota series. So, he's played in what? 5 playoff series, and you can make an argument he's been bad in 3 of them, right? You want Watson or Kessler? Honestly, I want Watson because I think it'd be hard. I think it'll be harder for the Lakers to get a like high level wing than it will be a center, right? I don't think you need like I really would love Walker. I want to make sure everyone understands that, right? Like I really want Walker Kessler, but I think you can get away with like a Nick Claxton, Isaiah Hartenstein, guys like that. I don't like. It's a lot harder to get somebody like a Watson, personally. What's going on, Drip Show? Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Appreciate you being here. And again, thank you for the shirts too. Seriously, that was very kind of you. It's a little chilly, so I'm wearing a sweater. It's all rainy and stuff here. Otherwise, I would be wearing the shirt, but I appreciate you. Title of the video, gearing up the back end. Pause. All right, let's do a couple more. I don't know how you can call Thero a bust. Connect, okay, sure. I still think Connect goes to the right place situation. Dude, Thero literally hasn't played this year because he's been injured, and that's part of the reason Lakers got him. I don't know. I don't like. I would love to hear your logic behind a Dude Thero being like. What makes you look at a Dude Thero as a bust as a rookie that is only played in sparing minutes? Like I just don't think there's anything you could look at for a dude. I can make a better argument that a Dude Thero has superstar potential than him being a bust. Facts. Let them hate. Keep grinding, bro. Stay positive, providing content. Go Lakers. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Seriously. I don't. You can say. I say it all the time. Say what you want to say. It doesn't really bother me. I like to kind of troll back a little bit sometimes because it's fun, right? Like, but look, if you do this YouTube thing, you can't let you get the comments that I get, the craziness that it comes with the territory. But here's the thing: if you don't have it, you're not doing it right. But like I always say, I don't have haters. I have fans in denial. They're just fans in denial because they're still here. They're still commenting. They're watching every video. So they're clearly fans. They're just in denial. Reeves is the closest thing to Jordan. Could a Nick Richards and Daniel Gafford center rotation anchor and a real 3-and-D anchor our defense to be top 15 in the league? Yeah, I mean, Jackson Hayes is 10th in defensive LeBron. I'd rather keep Jackson Hayes and just keep seeing if he can grow over a Nick Richards. Gafford would be nice. It's just, would Dallas trade with us again? But yeah, I mean, technically, you get the right wing. Yes. What's up, Tyler? What's going on, Marcus? Jamal Murray just missed the game-tying free throw to tie the game. We need all the teams in front of us to lose. Yeah, facts. Oh, yeah, I should keep an eye on that. Oh, I changed it. I'll check it out after. I'm going to get out of here in a minute. I gotta do a couple things, and it's getting late. It's already what? Oh yeah, it's already 12:30. Let's see. Quick to trade Reeves. You're a casual and unrealistic fan. Lakers can't get everyone. That's an unrestricted free agent. If the player's good, they'll find a way to get off players. So you just left a comment saying a bunch of nothing. Got it. I've been a supporter of Tyler since day one. Is not a Reeves fan. He is a Laker fan, just like me. If I could trade him and it's worth it, I would. Again, I guarantee you, this Tyler guy, I guarantee you, if tomorrow Wemby Spurs were like, hey, I want to swap Wemby for Austin Reeves, are you saying no? Because if you are, then you're in the same boat I am. You'd be willing to trade him, right? So are you not swapping Reeves for Wemby? Right? I'm an unrealistic guy. I'm casual. I'm all this stuff. I hate Austin Reeves. Would you not swap Wemby for him? Right? If you would, then that means you're in the same boat as me. That means you're the same position that I'm in. You would be willing to trade him. Now, you might be willing to trade him for a higher player than I am, but at the end of the day, we're in the same boat. So, again, what's the saying? When you point a finger, you get four back. So, again, try again, Goofy. Again, I didn't say that. Go back and listen. Or, hey, tell you what, try subtitles since you're hard of hearing, right? Sorry about that. Maybe your hearing aid's off or, you got some issues, which if you do, I'm really, really sorry about that. There's this thing called subtitles. If you click it, it'll actually read you what I said. Or if you have somebody else in the room with you, which you probably don't, maybe you can ask, your neighbor or something like that. Like, hey, can you listen to this, and explain to me what it is, so that way you can actually understand what I'm saying. Sorry about, your hearing issues, your hearing condition. It's just number. You cannot pay everyone as much as they want. Kids that don't pay the bills don't understand this yet. It depends on, again, the cost of what the players are. What's going on? How are you? What's the breakdown on the guy the Lakers just hired? I saw an announcement, but I haven't read or listened to anything on it. Yeah, so it's just basically the business side of things. He's going to handle the marketing and business side. It has nothing to do with anything basketball related. Because, I had a lot of people that, we hired a Dodger guy, a baseball guy to do that. It's not what it is. So it's just literally just the business side of things. We'll hire all the basketball people in the offseason. Hope you're having a good day, buddy Tyler. Yeah, of course. Always a good day. I got all you beautiful people here. I appreciate you. Already subscribed. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Sorry, trying to find something to me. AR Greek. If you can get Giannis, you get Giannis. It'd be easier to fill out a roster with AR, but I think, again, I've said it before. Let's say, even if you land Giannis, and let's say it's the worst, let's say it's worse than the Russell Westbrook situation, you still do it. It was still the right decision. If you have a chance to pair two top 3 players in basketball, or top 5 players, you do it every time. Would you trade AR for Peyton Watson? If I had to, yes, because I just think it's hard. It'd be harder to find somebody like a Peyton Watson than AR. AR has more value than Peyton Watson, in my opinion. So I wouldn't. I don't think you'd be properly utilizing your assets by just swapping the two. But if I could get Peyton Watson in a first, I'm not sure. Right? Again, it really boils down to what AR does in the offseason. You are very, very welcome. Thank you. Seriously. We get a good game against the Clippers too. Absolutely. We need to be the Clippers tomorrow. They play back to back. Yes. Cannot lose to the Clippers. Let's see. LeBron is better than Kobe, possibly the greatest Laker of all time. So I don't think LeBron's the greatest Laker of all time. I do think LeBron is a better player than Kobe. I think, again, I think LeBron James is the greatest player to ever play the game. If you're talking about just from a basketball standpoint, Kobe's the greatest Laker. And it's not because of his passing or anything like that. What Kobe did, he was most people's Jordans, right? He was that drive, that nature, winning 5 championships, what he did and what he meant for the Lakers, for a community to a global scale, it's unlike any other player we've ever had. Kobe is if you're talking about the greatest Laker of all time, it's Kobe Bryant. Now, if you're talking about who's the better player, it's LeBron. Lakers are looking at Gilbert Arenas' son. I'm wondering how could we get him? He is ranked so high on the draft boards. Lakers have a pick in the first round if they don't trade it. So again, there's possibility. He's he has, so he had a couple injuries, got in an accident, stuff like that. So there's been a couple things that could have him drop. Not just that, but they could maybe kind of nudge their way. What's going on? How are you? Tyler, you're so cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. I do. I appreciate it. I'm just me. I promise. I'm not trying to be anything other than me. Again, you're missing the point. I know. So you have, not only do you have comprehension issues, you have just visual. God, dude, I'm so sorry about your condition. I really am, man. It must be hard living your life that way. Everybody is tradable for the right price. Exactly. See, this person wasn't even in the conversation and they understood the point. I would trade Luka for Wemby, but not everyone will agree with me. Exactly. See, but this Tyler, he's having he's struggling, right? He's having a hard time, right? He just can't comprehend. He can't listen. Poor guy, bro, I love when trolls comment because Tyler always roasts them and proves them wrong. Kid, I'm not just talking out of my you know what, right? Like, get it. It just, because the problem is trolls don't act like, they're just looking for attention. So they're just talking. Like they're not actually listening to what anyone's saying. They're not actually, and again, they're not taking pride. I say it all the time. If you're gonna be a troll, be a troll. Take pride in your trolling. But the problem is, like the Jamar guy or whatever, right? Like, again, he keeps saying the same thing over and over again, but he's wrong, right? Like, again, it's like, I'm not just saying stuff just for the fun of it, right? But that's the problem. They don't actually listen. So then they're just spamming stuff. And then they just make themselves look stupid on the internet. Like, I don't care. Like I said, it's just better for me. It's fun. It gives me something to do. Dane, I would have liked to be here earlier. I didn't get the notification. Hey, I appreciate it. Nonetheless, I get it. It was impromptu stream. I was just kind of like, I have some time. Let me do this. I wanted to talk to you guys. Obviously, we'll do the post game stream tomorrow. So I would trade Luka for Cooper Flag. I would. Cooper Flag's been good, but I mean, Cooper Flag could be great and not be Luka great. I think Gilbert Arenas' son is either late first rounder or a second rounder. I don't think teams will draft him in the top 10. Yeah, he's probably in the probably mid to mid 20s, like mid teens, maybe a team would take a flyer on him, but he said if he had the guy, he's really struggling. He's having some issues. Poor guy. Let's go Lakers. Yes, I agree 1,000%. Mathurin was balling. Yeah, I would. Mathurin's another guy I wouldn't hate Lakers trying to creep up on. Seriously, his comprehension is poor guy. Kid, he can't listen, can't comprehend. He struggles because the subtitle commentary was funny. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Let's see. Kobe will most likely always, or for a while at least, always be best Lakers. Braun is definitely better all time, but Kobe will be the best Laker. Yeah, he's the best Laker ever. It's always funny how like trolls get cooked so bad and get so embarrassed that you can always tell when they're embarrassed. You can always tell when they're like, oh no, right? Because then they gotta like resort to like, oh, you're ugly, or your face or your teeth or whatever, right? Like, again, instead of just like taking your L and just moving on, and it's always somebody with an anonymous picture, right? Because it's probably some guy, he's probably 400 pounds sitting in his mother's basement, Ma, the meatloaf, right? Like, just play on your computer. You guys ever see South Park when they're all like playing World of Warcraft and you're like, that's this guy, right? Poor guy. Again, he got hit with the ugly stick. He has learning comprehension. He has listening issues. Man, dude, I'm so sorry for your life. Poor guy. If Robert Williams gets waived, should Lakers waive DA or DK? They're not going to waive either because they both have money on the books next year. It would be Maxi Kleber. That's who it would be. The people that are commenting like that are the same people that got that chirp beep in their house. Not sure. None of your takes has been right. Spam videos say Lakers are going to get everyone and talk about how everyone, again, comprehension issues. You don't listen. Go back. Again, not an insider, not a reporter. Again, you just keep embarrassing yourself. Please, for the love of God, just let it, just stop. Stop. All you're doing is embarrassing yourself. Again, because you can't, you struggle to listen. You struggle to comprehend, right? Again, all I do is take the news and give it and then give my opinion. Sometimes I'll make a video about just like, hey, I have an idea or this would be cool or whatever. Again, comprehension skills. I get it. You struggle. You got a tough life. You're miserable. It sucks. The Milky Way galaxy, our home city, it is 100,000 light years across. If you wanted to cross at the speed of Parker Solar Probe, it would take you hundreds of years. Well, thank you. I appreciate the history lesson. I know streaming was spontaneous and you had free time, but I also didn't get a notification. Well, yeah, nonetheless, I appreciate you. Thank you. Peyton Watson or Jaden McDaniels? Oh, that's tough. Jaden McDaniels is the better defensive player, but Peyton Watson, I think, has more upside. I'd probably go Peyton Watson. Yeah, probably go Peyton Watson because I just give me the upside. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. They got the bag of Doritos and Mountain Dew. Yeah, facts. Bro, Tyler's going crazy. I'm crying laughing. If Murray goes against the Lakers, he's making those shots. Oh, 1,000%. That guy is the best player in the world when he plays the Lakers. Let's see. Do these people not understand that you upload Laker videos because that's what the channel is about? It's you keep it as update, puppet out content. Exactly. Again, like I said, they're not haters, they're fans, and they watch every video, they listen to every video. They're, again, all they want to do is just like, they just want attention. The guy's lonely, sitting in his basement, doing nothing, right? He's depressed, life sucks. He's over here just like, let me. Oh, I'm gonna get him, right? Like, again, nobody that has a productiveness has the time to do that nonsense, right? Like, again, if these trolls put as much time into like a hobby or a craft or something, then they'd probably be super successful, right? Like, again, does LeBron get a statue if he doesn't retire a Laker? I mean, honestly, he only won one championship. Unless he wins, if he wins another one, then sure, we could talk. Winning one championship, I don't know if that requires a statue, right? They'd probably give him one just because, but I don't know if that'll require a statue. You'll never get real inside reporting tag. Trevor Lane is way better because he's realistic and actually has real information. Cool story, bro. Again, fan channel, not a organization, right? Like, not, again, Lakers Nation is a whole organization, just some guy that grew an audience. Thanks, though. There's no saving him. Chat. Yeah, facts. Dude is cooked. It's cooked. Poor guy. All right, last comment. I'm gonna skate on out here, man. I wonder if we'll ever see water is wet. Yeah, facts. My life's better than. He said my life's better than yours. I make more money than you and have a way better life than yours. You just suck at what you do. Oh, you wouldn't be in this chat trolling and spamming and just desperate for attention if that was true. He really left this comment. That's hilarious. Poor guy. Oh my god. That might be the best comment I've ever seen in my life. What, you have no way to know any of those things for one. But let's see. One of us is up here happy, having a good time. The other one's leaving miserable comments. Like, yeah, you're right. You have a much better, way happier life than I do, buddy. Sure. Oh, that's hilarious. Yeah, you lost the argument. He lost its comments ago. But at this point, it's funny to see. I know it's kind of why I'm like sticking around, but like I really do gotta go. Like I just want to see what kind of foolishness he says next. You got under his skin. Exactly. That's why. Now he's like, oh, I got a better life than you. Like he's in panic mode. He's in desperation mode. He's like, Ma, this guy on the internet is being mean to me. Yeah, I get a better life. My mommy feeds me. He's over here like, Dad, my mommy makes more money than you. Like, Anyway, I'm done. I need to go. I need to get out of here. This guy. Thank you for the content, Tyler. You guys are awesome. I do. I appreciate you. Oh, here, let me put this in the chat again. I would really appreciate you if you went after this, went and go and subscribe to this. If you can go subscribe to my NBA channel, watch as many videos as you can, please, because I really do need to get that monetized. I need to do a better job of like actually making videos on it. That's part of it. But he said he has no way to prove anything. He say that's when you know you lost. Exactly. Right. Again, one of us is having a great time. The other one is panic typing. Oh, it's so funny. But anyway, I need to get out of here. I really just want, like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just want to keep roasting this guy, but like I do. I got things to do. I gotta make spam videos. So let me let me go do that. But again, on your way out, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for me. Everyone that gave me super chats, thank you so much. Seriously, I really appreciate you. Everyone that just hung out with me in the chat, thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Also, again, please click that link to the NBA channel. Go subscribe for me if you're not subscribed. And if you could, watch some of those videos. I'm like close to monetization, so I got to get that. But I appreciate you guys. I will see you guys in the post-game stream tomorrow after the game. Hopefully we get a W. We need it. See you guys tomorrow.